Hogstye.
Hello, and welcome to the Hogstye, a much more normal episode this week on the show. If you didn't love last week's episode, I don't care. So I don't.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't.
had to do it. Rest in
Yep.
peace, John.
Yep.
John Worrell.
And
Thanks to Robbie and Sean for coming on to
yep. It
honor
was
him.
it was really great seeing those guys again, talking to them. Uh, it was it. They really did both fall right back into their old personality habits on the
Pretty
show,
much,
which was
yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Sean kept trying to host, you know.
Yeah,
It's like, no, you
I
quit.
didn't notice that.
You're not the host anymore. You're a guest.
Yeah. Different role. Very different role, man. Yes.
And about happy Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Jew week to Alex and his people.
Yeah.
You know, better known as Hanukkah. Is it okay for me to just say Jew week, or is that not good?
I would prefer Jewish Awareness Week.
Jewish Awareness Week.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go. I don't think you're allowed to say Jew. You know, if you're not
Of course,
Jewish.
why am I not allowed to say Jew?
Well, in that way, because I know that I work with a couple that probably would be very offended by that.
So Jew week is no good. Okay, well, sorry, jeez. All right, happy Hanukkah then.
Yeah. Can you at least give me a ha on the Hanukkah? You know.
I cannot. No. Sounds like I'm hawking up a loogie.
That's why we're a very phlegmy people. You know.
You're a very phlegmy people. Talk about stereotypes. You just like my Jew week thing. Jeez.
I don't think I'm the one who invented that joke, for the record.
By the way,
yeah.
our fourth cast member is with us. Kobe the dog is here laying on my foot again, so he may chime in when he feels motivated to do
Kobe
so.
seems to have mellowed out a little. I'll cross my fingers.
Well, there's been a couple of recent shows where he hasn't been in the room, though.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not been mellow. He's just not been there.
No, he's just not. He's just been somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Or did you finally take care of that German Shepherd down the street?
Oh, you want me to tell you the German Shepherd story?
There we go.
Here's a good
Yes.
story. So I'm walking Kobe the dog 2 days ago, and this one particular street, this house has about an 8-foot tall brick wall because the backyard is facing kind of a main road.
Mhm.
And so we're walking by there. Now Kobe has a sore leg, so we've been walking as opposed to running. And I look up and I hear this barking dog, like a pound of hell barking. And I look up and there's a German Shepherd, another one, who is laying on top of the 8-foot tall wall with just half his body and his head and his front two legs hanging over the wall, barking like he's going to eat my dog for lunch. And I was like, sore leg or not, we're running down this road away from this thing because I'm not fighting German Shepherd.
Right.
And how did the thing get up there? That's my principal question is how did the dog get up there?
I mean, those Germans are crafty. They know how to.
The Krauts, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
They can absolutely scale a wall.
Yeah.
Apparently so, because that dog did and was hanging over it like the hound from hell, barking viciously like he wanted to eat poor Kobe.
Now let's be clear. Kobe is not a small dog. He's not
Kobe's
a
a fairly large. He's not a Great
German
Dane, but
Shepherd,
he's about 65, 70 pounds.
Right. He's a normal, good, healthy sized dog.
If you separate dogs into large and small, he would be large, but otherwise I'd probably call him a big medium dog.
Yeah, that's big medium to me.
Yeah.
Because you get those crazy big dogs that are over 100. Like
Kobe agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the cane Corsos.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, see, he's not
they're
that.
big boys.
No.
Yeah.
They're. Yeah. Oh well.
Somebody needs to tell that German Shepherd to mellow out, though.
Yeah.
There's a chance that he might have been screaming for you for help because he couldn't get back down.
Listen, owners of German Shepherd, pay more attention to your dog.
Right.
And I would argue that if your dog is up on top of the wall, maybe you do need to pay more attention to the dog.
Absolutely. And build a bigger wall at the same time.
or maybe because if he got up there, he could jump down the other side of it too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I don't. Anyway. I don't know how dogs are on heights. like, I don't think of
Well, that
dogs like
dog didn't seem to mind it because he was
yeah,
hanging over the top of an 8 foot
right,
tall brick wall.
right. Because like a cat even is at that height's gonna be like wondering about it, but like like,
Well, a
they'll
cat's
do
going to
it.
be like 5 times smaller than that German Shepherd, though.
Right, right, right. But
At
cats are
least,
used
probably
to
more.
making big jumps and stuff like
Yes.
that. So, it'd be very interesting. Um, to see it, I would be curious to see a dog jump from that height. What would happen?
Well, if you look at, there's some videos on YouTube. Anybody wants to look through this stuff, Belgian Malinois, like practically like climbing up straight up walls, basically. They're like German
Uh,
Shepherds on steroids, basically.
a
Hmm.
Belgian what now?
Belgian Malinois.
Belgian Malinois.
They
Never heard
look
of that before.
exactly like a German Shepherd, only larger and more athletic and more vicious. This is why police officers use German Shepherds, not Belgian Malinois for the most part in America. This is why
Right.
Well,
military police don't use them because they're just too much.
wow. I googled them. Man, that does look identical to a German Shepherd.
Except they're larger, stronger, and
Hmm.
more ornery.
Some of them have longer hair. I noticed in the
Yes.
photos,
Well,
but
there's long-haired German Shepherds too out there, but yes.
right. But it otherwise looks identical. Like I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Nearly. So,
So you are
uh,
certainly not unless you're like some dog expert, right?
right, right. And I am not. I am not at the dog show over there in Philly with Dave every year. Dave loves it. I hear he goes every year.
Hey, listen, man. I pack up my little Shih Tzu, put her in a bag while I'm brushing her hair, watching the rest of the dogs. I mean, if I had hair, I'd have a little bow in my head or something.
Well, you
But
have your matching outfits, which I think is very
yeah,
cute.
I do. No, I do. I do.
You
Well,
match the outfits with the dog?
yeah, I got this one little cute like mauve color outfit with these little flowers and oh, it's beautiful. You should see it.
I
I should
think
Mauve
wear it
our
is
one day
very
for
in
you.
this year.
I think our listener Maurizio needs to have a meme of Dave and the dog dressed as in flowery colors together.
Oh, that reminds me. I do need to send him some kind of photo of Robbie and Sean because he wants to do one of them.
Oh, he
Do
does.
yeah, because like I want to do all the like old cast and add
Well,
them to.
Robbie's on Twitter. I don't know. I
Yeah,
couldn't
Robbie's
find
easy to
Sean.
find.
I don't know if Sean's still on Twitter. I can find
Yeah,
him.
I don't know offhand if he is or not, but
Aren't you?
yeah,
You crazy wacky liberals are all in that commie blue
I
sky
don't
thing,
think
right?
yeah, but Sean was never a big social media person to
Oh, he
begin with.
wasn't.
He might
Okay.
be on Facebook still,
Is
so
anybody still on Facebook?
I
A lot
I
of people on Facebook.
I never
yeah
was on the first place.
I use it to talk to elderly family members. That's what it's for. No, like that's where it's at now with Facebook.
There's got to
It
be a transition here at some point to the football game, and
oh
I can't
fine
dra- I
let
can't I can't come up with it. So let's
Oh
just
wait, we're
interrupt
here
and
to
start
talk
talking.
about Washington? Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
oh
not
right
dogs and elderly people. No.
oh fine. Well it did happen, guys. It actually happened. No one believed it would happen. We all thought it was never going to be, but Washington actually won another football game this year.
We all predicted they would lose.
Yeah.
All five of us last week predicted they would lose. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact.
We had very little confidence going into that thing. But yes, Washington ekes out what was it, an 8-point win, I guess technically.
I think
Uh,
eke out is a very, very good descriptive of what happened.
right. Well, so they played well through a chunk of it, but we'll get into it, Steve, because we have to do it in the right order.
Yes, and that makes me happy. Okay, so stats for this week. Washington miraculously won a game 29-21 over the New York Giants. Marcus Mariota was 10 for 19 for 211 yards, one touchdown, quarterback rating of 109.8. I think that was a little bit deceiving. We'll get to that. Corey Krosky-Merritt was the leading rusher, 18 for 69 or 96 yards, 5.3 yards to carry, one touchdown. Jeremy McNichols, 9 for 6. That stinks. Marcus Mariota, 10 for 43. Terry McLaurin was leading receiver, 3 for 69. Debo
Nice.
Samuel, 3 for 43. And all you Ben Sanat nerds out there, he was 1 for 36. Noah Brown, John Bates, Jeremy Nichols all had one reception each. Traylon Burks had 2 targets, no reception. Jalen Lane, 1 target, no receptions. However, Jalen Lane ran a punt back for a touchdown,
Right.
63 yards. Congrats on him on that.
Right.
Quan Martin was
Second one
leading.
this year, right? That's his
Yes,
second.
second one this
Yeah.
year. Quan Martin was leading tackle this week. 9 tackles total. Bobby Wagner next with 7. There was 1 sack, which is Von Miller. And on the Giants side, Jackson Dart was 20 for 36, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, quarterback rating of 83.8, sacked once. Tyrone Tracy was leading rusher, 15 for 70. Theo Johnson was leading receiver, 3 for 72. And we're not going to play the Tress Wade team today because they won. That's no fun. But he went 4 for 183. And that is the numbers.
That is the numbers. So yeah, a nice healthy win. This team desperately needed to get out of this funk. If you're one of those tank for a draft pick guys, I'm not a tank for the like I was all for play younger guys mentality, but I'm not a tank guy. Never really have been.
Everybody in our comment section is tank for draft.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We don't need a quarterback. What's the point in tanking if you don't need a quarterback?
The only position I have with that, which I wouldn't mind of having a loss and higher pick, is be able to trade back for someone who needs a quarterback so we get some more draft assets because this team is old. Take as many swings as possible. We already have our quarterback, in my opinion. Take as many swings as you can because this team has got to get younger and younger fast and start developing the talent properly.
My view of this has always been I'm going to root for my team to win.
Oh yeah,
the draft is next year. I really don't. I've never paid attention to it, and I'm not. I've never lied about my fandom of the C words and all of that. But generally speaking, I'm going to worry about the draft when the draft comes, and I don't really care about the difference between 5 and 8, particularly. Who cares? And so to me, I think the players want to win.
Yeah.
They have pride. The coaches want to win. Everybody has jobs on the line. This is not the NBA, and NFL teams do not intentionally tank.
Right.
With
Absolutely.
very few exceptions. You could probably find a couple here and there that have done it, but Washington was not trying to tank. They just stunk. There's a big difference.
The last one I really remember was the suck for luck thing that happened in 2012.
Yeah.
I think that was an intentional tank job by
Wasn't
the
there a game at the end of
Yeah.
the year like the Giants and the Colts or somebody, and that was like the tank for luck game?
Well, no, was it
Was
the
it one?
Giants?
I might be totally wrong.
I don't
because,
Don't
remember.
quote me on that.
Yeah.
No, because we traded up with the Rams at number 2. So in the Giants, I think we're outside the top 5 for that.
I
shit.
might be
I
wrong. Don't quote me on the Giants.
But
It's fine.
the Colts clearly tanked that year. I can't think of many other. Oh, and we all know the Browns and Dolphins have both intentionally tanked at least once.
And I would just like to point out that for all the high draft picks the Browns have gotten, the Browns still stink.
Right.
And I think I did a deeper dive of draft analysis than anybody in history twice, and I could tell you that draft status is a giant crapshoot, and it, for the most part, does not help teams very much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a lot of other things have to come together.
Let's talk about how this game went. Let's start with the offense. Mariota, think it's safe to say, like classic number 2 numbers, 10 for 19, like you said. So they didn't even try to throw it a lot. It was very run heavy, which made sense given how cold it was. Like that was that's the kind of game where you want to run the ball just to, get that clock moving as much as possible. So I totally.
Well, they did the right thing. Listen, I mean, the team is a running team. It should be. They're better at running than they are passing. I think Marcus Mariota. I think the numbers are a bit deceptive. I didn't think he had a very good game personally. I mean, he had a pretty high quarterback rating. No interceptions.
But he was about 50%, right?
Well, yeah, a little over. I mean, 10 for 19 is like 52, 53% or something.
Right.
And but he had a couple boneheaded plays in there.
He always will.
So yeah, and that's just kind of the way he is. I still think he's a perfect backup for a guy like Jane Daniels, but I didn't think that was his best game. And I thought the 109 quarterback rating doesn't tell an accurate picture. And this is a game in which these statistics do not tell an accurate picture, do not provide an accurate picture of the quarterback's performance.
Well,
I didn't think.
QBR, is a like
Well, there's a
the
difference
no
between QBR and quarterback rating, just for the
fair
record.
fair. Okay, so the quarterback rating is odd because when did they come up with that? 1970 something. It
It's
was
been forever ago. I don't
yeah
know.
yeah. When they came up with that, throwing for 50% was still acceptable. So like
Yes.
that, like that part of the quarterback rating system is still, a little outdated. Um, you
I've
know,
never used QBR because I've never done a deep dive into how it's calculated because I don't think
right? I'm
ESPN's
with
ever
you.
told anybody. And so it's like proprietary to them, or at least it was. And so I've never used it. I don't use stats that I haven't looked into and don't know what they mean.
Right. The quarterback rating, at least there's a calculator out
Well,
there.
I've looked at it and I
Yeah.
know how it's calculated.
Right. Right. There's a easy way to calculate
It's a
that stat.
formula. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And there's
But
websites that do it and all
yeah,
that. Yeah.
absolutely. But in terms of the offense, they did the right thing in a game plan because the Giants stink against the run.
Yes.
Newsflash, and so, um, you know, Chris Rodriguez not there. Krosky Merrick gets 18 carries. That's exactly what we've been calling
Right.
for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they need to do.
Right.
So, now would this have worked against other teams? No.
No.
They would have lost this game to almost anybody else for that matter.
Right. 27 runs to 19 passes. And, then you have your quarterback scrambles and stuff too.
Yeah,
But,
it's like, 1985 called wants their game plan back,
right.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I loved it, man. We had
I'm
they
here
were
for it, dude.
they were running I form, Benson Otts going in the backfield to like
Yeah,
crush guys. I dig that. That's the kind of football I love to see played this time of year anyway. I'm
I'm here
fine with
for
it.
it.
Yeah. I'd much rather watch that than run spread all the time and you have no check downs, so your quarterback's always getting hit. I don't need air spur, your nonsense.
Oh my goodness. What a name that is.
Thanks for bringing up that
But
nightmare.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But look,
Now, of course, I
Kingsbury's
didn't see
offense is from that. Like if you do like a history of where that offense come from, it does come from Spurrier. Like the air
Uh,
raid evolved out of what Spurrier did with the run and gun back in the day.
I don't know. I mean, Detroit ran the run and shoot. There was Eric Coryell. There was the greatest show on turf at the Rams. I mean, there's a lot of aerial attack offenses. Even Dan Fouts and the Chargers in the 80s.
No, there are, but I when I think of what like that spread air raid offense is that Kingsbury runs, to me it's
I'm trying to
very similar to what like they
I'm
did at
trying
Florida
to
back in the day.
I'm trying to remember the head coach for I think it was Texas Tech, the time when Mahomes was there.
That was
Was
Kingsbury.
that Leach?
I
Oh
think
yeah, no,
yeah,
that's Leach.
Leach.
That's Leach. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he run? I mean, didn't like the version of the air raid that we're seeing with Cliff Kingsbury kind of
Well,
adapted
yeah,
off of what
because
he ran there?
Kingsbury was one of the quarterbacks.
Yeah, right.
Right. He
Yeah,
And I
never
don't
coached under Leach though. I think he
no.
did play
he
under
was
him.
the quarterback under. I think he
Yeah.
was Leach's quarterback though.
And I
Kingsbury, I
can't
think.
recall if that interconnects with Spurrier or not at all. I'm trying to think of.
Well, Spurrier came from the University of Florida, so no.
Right,
Back in
right.
the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point
But
is, yes, it's a similar style. I just mean, did he innovate that? No. Again, like the Detroit Lions ran it with um not the Lions. Was it the Lion? Anyway, the Warren Moon did it. That's what I was trying. It was the
Oh, back in that the
yeah, it was like the
Oilers.
Oilers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the run
Yeah,
and shoot back then.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Eh,
I think that offense was a lot more wide open than what you see with the air raid though.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I mean that was a ton of vertical routes, very little running. You didn't have a ton of movement in terms of with your tight ends. In fact, you barely even saw a tight end on the field with that run and shoot. That run and shoot I think was unique all to itself because it didn't even really mirror what Eric Coryell did
I mean, you're
in
right. You're
many
fair enough.
ways.
I just meant, lots of passing and wide open
Yeah,
offense. That's all I meant. That's
yeah,
all I meant. But you're right. It's very different.
true.
But so the point of this all is to say that Washington this year, for a variety of reasons, is not a good passing team.
Right.
and they needed to run. Fortunately, they faced a team that really, really stunk against the run, and so it actually worked. Could they have done that? Can they do that against the Eagles this week? Probably not. Not in the same level of success, but it
No.
worked against the Giants. Of course, they did everything they could to give the game back to the Giants.
Yeah, in that second half, they had good momentum going into the half, and then they did not. The Giants did a good job adjusting to make a game of it. I'll put it that way. That's what I kind of felt like.
Yeah, but I mean, there's two separate fumbles in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
Since we're talking offense, Marcus Mariota fumbled one, and it's possible, hypothetically, that the illegal stream I was watching died for this game
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of the fourth quarter. So if that happened, it's possible that I put the dog in the car and drove around to listen to it on the radio. So I heard this. I
Right.
did not see either of those fumbles. And I think Dave had a similar problem because the stream wasn't working where he was either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what I hear is that your guys' YouTube is just not reliable. That the perfectly legal YouTube that you both pay for.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The YouTube that we pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for,
Right.
you
Yes.
know, did not work
Did
correctly.
not work
Yes,
out. No,
right.
which is bullshit, of course. Damn Google, so unreliable with their
I don't
internet
like Google,
providing.
and you made our email Google 10 years ago, Alex, and I still
I
resent it
no,
to this
that
day.
that that was not me. That was somebody else who just passed away.
Well, I
Yeah.
got to hold that against,
You
sorry,
want to hold that
John,
against
but
me? That's
yes.
fine for now. But it wasn't me. Yeah.
uh,
No, look, I
But
don't love that. That's a Google email
yeah,
either.
I don't like Google. But no, my point here is that the offense kind of got away with one here a little bit. Yes, they had the right game plan in that, running game, and Krosky Merritt kind of came through more or
Right.
less.
Couple big
But
pass plays,
the
were key.
mistakes, though, the two fumbles,
Yeah.
yeah, there were drops out there. Mariota had some, bad, like I said, he had some bad passes. Some, the radio guys were apocalyptic about the Mariota's fumble. Again, I didn't see it; I just heard it on the radio.
Right.
Um, and so this was not the greatest effort in the world. It just was a team. It was a situation in which they played a team that was equally terrible.
Yeah.
right.
Look, I think we and we're obviously going to be stuck with him for the rest of the year now. But I think Mariota as a backup, he's what you expect,
I think
and
he's great
he's
as a
very
backup.
high IQ. He like his football IQ is as good as you could want from any quarterback. Like he's got that good veteran because he's what 31 now. He's been playing for a while.
Keep
Uh,
talking. I'll look it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I
I want
have
to
it.
say
What am I talking
34.
about? I have it on my chart. You
yeah.
guys, I mean,
So
I'm out of practice.
like Mariota's good there. He just doesn't have the physical talent, other than the fact that he can run. He's a great running quarterback, but I he never had like an elite arm or anything. Uh, like the things like the fumble, it's a lack of some physical talent. That's the reason why he'll never really be a full time starter anywhere.
I
I
mean,
don't
he has
think.
elite athleticism in terms of running, I'd say, by
That's what I'm
quarterback
saying.
standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, he is 32.
32. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that's that age where you better have the mental part down as a quarterback because the physical tools are not there as much as they used to be.
Yeah, and he never had like the best arm in the world,
No,
like
no,
Right.
strongest
no,
arm in the world.
no. But perfect fit for what Kingsbury likes to do. Perfect fit for that.
Well, and you don't have to change the game plan.
Right, right.
He does pretty much the exact same thing that Jaden Daniels does.
Yes. Now, we do have that discussion of what happens with him long term. That's a whole another
We'll get
topic that
to it.
we'll get to at some point. Uh, yeah. Anything else on the offense we want to touch on? I thought Terry's finally looking like the old Terry, which is nice.
Here and there,
Yeah.
considering that he doesn't really have a starting quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is the old Terry, man. He didn't have a starting quarterback for
Yeah, that's true.
years.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Yeah, what am I thinking?
Yeah. Uh, I saw a lot of people complain. Benson not had that one big catch in the fourth quarter, the 36-yard catch. I saw a lot of people complain about him not getting enough targets. they threw the ball 19 times. No one got enough targets. I don't know
I've
what.
explained this to people,
Right.
the morons who think that, you know, this is the crowd that thinks that Kane Madrano, Ben Sinnott, and a bunch of no-name practice squatters need to be starting in place of guys who are solid starters.
Right.
I don't understand what you people are thinking. Get him playing time, sure. But I'll tell you what, Ben Sinnott looked slow to me. He looked like a plotter. He did not look
I mean,
like his athleticism was at the top of the charts for tight ends by tight end
no,
standards.
he's supposed to be more like that H back type anyway. Like he's gonna be the fact that he had a 36-yard catch is actually impressive. I always thought of him as more think like what Chris Cooley did. He's gonna be like a 5-yard hitch route guy.
Yeah.
Like short to mid tight end. Like, and that's fine.
I
You
just
need
thought he looked
those.
slow even by that standard.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's ever gonna be a burner. Uh,
Well,
but
coming out of college, he was never classified as being a real like a real true like seam route type of tight end. He was more of a more of a sit in the zone and kind of play everything with the underneath throws. He was like a I guess almost like a poor man version of a George Kittle. Because George Kittle isn't super fast either, but I mean he's not even as fast as what George Kittle is either. But
No, he's not. That's my point.
yeah,
He looked slow to me, even by those standards. Because you're right, that is what he is. But I, I don't know. I mean, he
I'm
didn't.
trying to remember what his 40-yard dash time was. 4.68. So that is not NFL fast, but tight ends that's pretty average. Uh, I found that online at least. Yay AI! It's actually giving me something useful for a change. um, yeah. So look, I really like him being used in that H back role, which they're doing a lot of this year, where he's kind of lining up as a fullback part time and a tight end. Uh, you spend a second round pick on the guy, you got to find stuff to do with him. And
how
even
was
if
he
it's
as a
that,
blocker in this game? I mean, I'm sure he was in the run game quite often.
he was in there as the lead blocker quite a bit out of that fullback spot.
Just
Yeah.
as an aside, I mean, good luck to Zach Ertz because we may have seen the end of his career.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think we absolutely
unfortunately.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and because he looked when they pulled him out, last week, he looked really, really upset, and there's a reason for that.
It sounds
Right.
like it's an ACL, and at his age,
It
you're
Oh,
was.
probably
it
not coming
definitely
back.
it's
Yeah.
definitely an ACL, and I don't
Yeah.
know how if you even want to come back from that.
Right. Right. 36. Like that's
Yeah,
kind of it's time. But yeah, and from what it sounds like, everyone's always said he's a great locker room guy for them. Kind
well,
of
so it's funny you say that, Alex, because I did watch most of the Hard Knocks at one of those, the episode you mentioned, the first one.
the first one. Okay.
Yeah, and I saw, was it in that thing they were talking about Zach Ertz?
No, that was the second one because
Okay, then I
they
saw
were
that. I
doing
saw a little bit of
clear and
that.
obvious foreshadowing to the fact that he was getting injured.
Yeah.
So they made sure to find a bunch of guys talking positive about him and throw it in there.
Yeah.
Because Hard Knocks midseason is again the worst produced of all the Hard Knocks.
I've just kind of gotten tired of Hard Knocks, just generally, frankly.
Well, so here's my thing. I was talking about this with my buddy Mauricio because I was getting a haircut. Uh, my problem with Hard Knocks is they spend half the show just recapping the games. We watch the games. I don't need to see highlights of all these games. Like just give me what led up to the game or the reaction after the game. I don't need that
Yeah,
filler
we really
of
don't need
the
any
highlights.
highlights.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Right. The interesting stuff is the non-highlight stuff, and that's what we want. I don't know why HBO is so bad at this.
Yeah. Um, Game wise, though, I don't know. That's all I have on offense. It
Yeah.
was good to see McLaurin out there.
Yep.
Noah Brown is out.
hmm I guess we should
Laramie
say
Tunsil went out on for an injury also. I don't know what his status is.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Good to see him finally have another good game. I know, like you said, it's the Giants, but you know, almost 100 yards. That's great. Happy
Yeah,
for that.
5.3 yards per carry.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
yeah. If he can be a guy who does that a couple times a year, that's worth a seventh round pick. All
Yeah.
right, so let's switch sides to the defense, who you know stepped up pretty well. Again, you, you had
In
what one?
context, take it
Yeah,
in
in
context.
context. Yeah, you had another pick for Mike Sandersill. That was a really perfectly done. Like that pick in itself was really nice, actually. Like how he timed it, it was just about. Like I don't think you could time that any better. Um, Otherwise, no one really did anything too flashy, but that's not this defense. This is not a flashy defense. This is a
Right.
bread and butter defense right now.
It's not a good
Uh,
defense either. Just not just
no,
not flashy. It's not good.
no, no. Hamilton though, that was some of the most physical play at corner I've seen in a long time.
That was the first time we've saw a plus level play from Hamilton
Right.
Well, it's his
But
first real game this year, wasn't it?
yeah, it's his
I
first
don't
real
recall
game.
him. Yeah.
with significant playing time. At least it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like he's been like the fifth corner. I think somebody said he had as many snaps in this game as he's had all year, roughly. So,
This is what
uh,
happens when you lose your entire
secondary.
cornerback group to injury.
Yeah, when you're down to your second guy and your like fifth guy, yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly what's
But
going
yes, he
on.
played very well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and honestly, there were a lot of times where I was like, how did that not get flagged? Like how much hand fighting he was doing with some of these guys on the sidelines,
They let
right?
a couple things go in this game,
Yeah, which I don't
which is
mind.
good. No, I
Yeah,
think that's a positive.
yeah, I don't mind that at all. But and like I was commenting that on Twitter, and people thought I was knocking the refs for not throwing a flag. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm just observing. This is unusual. How did that not get flagged? I'm confused because I'm so used to seeing every little thing penalized, and
I
this is real
mean,
football.
the downside to the defense is they have absolutely no pass rush.
No, no,
Even against the Giants, they couldn't really. And they got one sack of Jackson Dart.
right, right. Well,
Congratulations.
they don't really seem to have a desire to bring a pass rush
They
because they're playing.
mostly let they mostly
Well,
let him
they
have all
can't.
day long.
Yeah,
Well, they can't bring something they don't have anyway.
right.
I mean, it makes it a little tough.
Well, yeah, you can't if you're a zone team, you can't bring exotic zone blitzes down in, down out. Like it's just not going to work.
Right.
You'll end up getting picked apart. You have to be very selective when you do that kind of stuff, I guess.
Well,
Um,
I think they have to make edge rusher their top priority in the draft,
oh
if you
yeah,
ask me.
I honestly, you probably need a free agent one and a draft one.
Yes.
Yeah, because they have zero of value. Um,
The only other defensive thing I would look at is someone like a Caleb Downs from Ohio State. He's a safety that reminds me so much of Sean Taylor. Not quite as athletic as Sean Taylor, but wow. I mean, that dude can bring the wood, cover anybody. True general in the field, and I think he'd be perfect in his defense.
there's no defensive position that I'd be outraged if they took it, and I'll even
Yeah.
include D tackle on that because
I don't
nothing.
think they need to draft another D tackle, for
I don't
Christ's
think
sake.
it would not be my highest priority. It would not be. It would make me the least happy, but it's still they need all the help they can get on defense.
Yes, they do.
So, like, I'm not gonna kick that one off and be like, no, that's unacceptable. You know, if you drafted a defensive tackle and he becomes a Pro Bowler finally, great. Like, they need every bit of help they can get. Um, all right, look, there's not a lot to say about the defense otherwise. I cannot find the snap counts for did my guy Jordan McGee get more playing time? That's what I really want to know. But I was lazy. I did not look up Pro Football Reference to look at snap counts, and I'm not going to bother now. So uh, I still want him to see more playing time. That's all I'll say. All right, let's do game balls then. We've been
Okay.
all over this episode, but game balls. Steve, who on the Giants are you giving a game ball to?
No, 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 no. I'm gonna say that On offense, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt deserves a game ball because he had a good game again. Rushing game, 18 carries, 5.3 yards per carry, and the defense is no question. To me, it should be Antonio Hamilton Senior. He played a great game, first opportunity, looked good. So I'm going with Krosky-Merritt and Hamilton.
And myself, I'll piggyback off of Krosky Merritt. I mean, it's ever since week 5, it just seems like he's been dealing with a lot of mental issues after 3 fumbles in 2 games, 2 against the Chargers alone, and he just has not been the same ever since. And the game that you guys described him of having, because I didn't see the game, I think it was a nice rebound game for him after week 5. So I'll definitely give him the game ball. And then for defense, I'll go with you know what? I'm gonna go with Quan Martin because I've been criticizing his tackling all year, and here he led the team in tackling. You know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give you the game ball this week.
Uh, just be different. I'm gonna go on offense with Terry McLaurin because he had the one passing or receiving touchdown. Not a lot was done in the passing game, but Terry, kind of led them there. And on defense, I'm gonna agree with Steve that Hamilton had It's honestly it's the best day anyone named Hamilton has had in New Jersey in over 300 years. And if you
I
don't
like
get
the
that,
reference, man. I get it.
and
That's
anyone
good.
who doesn't get that reference, don't vote. That would be
Take a
my
history class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just
Watch it.
Hamilton, not Antonio Hamilton, Hamilton.
Yeah, all Hamiltons. All
Yeah.
Hamiltons. The best day any Hamiltons had in New
Well, it's
Jersey.
kind of a feel-good story, isn't it not? I mean, the guy was backup at the very back end of the roster, gets a
Journeyman, 30
shot.
something
Yeah,
guy. Yeah.
played well.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah. Yeah. Past his prime. Pissed off Aaron Burr by saying something bad about his daughter. And
Well, I'm
then.
talking about Antonio Hamilton,
Oh,
but
oh, oh, okay.
not the other Hamilton. And we're not going to tell you who Alex is talking about. If you don't know, look it up. Read a history book.
Yes, or find a $10 bill.
You could do that too.
Who carries $10 bills?
uh,
Come on, that's like a weird denomination. $10.
I carry a
Uh,
$10 bill.
I mean, it's 20s and fives for me, man. All 20s and fives.
I don't carry a lot of cash, period, truthfully.
I don't generally anymore either, but when I do, it's 20s and fives. No 50s, no 10s. Those are weird bills to have on you. I
Who
feel.
carries a 50?
Yeah, right.
well, that's all. That's all I carry are 50s and 100s, and a few $2 bills, and that's it,
Mr.
man.
Big Money Bags over here.
Yeah, right.
Well, Steve, again, the dog show is very expensive
yes.
when you're there, and it's cash only. That's how they make their money.
We have to see an image of Dave and the Shih Tzu dressed in flowered colors together at a dog show. We
Now,
have
let's
to
be
see
clear,
that.
Dave.
You know
Dave,
what? I'm gonna
is it
have to actually go out and now buy a matching outfit just to do that for you now.
Don't lie.
Well,
You've already done it. You don't lie about it.
so here's what you do: get some brownie points with the misses, and you do a 3-person matching outfit situation.
Yeah, yeah. I get arrows pointing either way. I'm with her and I'm with her.
Yeah,
I'm
there you
with
go.
the Shih Tzu and I'm with the wife. There you go.
It's a Christmas card right there. It's perfect. It's a little late for Christmas cards, I know, but think about that one for next season.
It's
There
never
you
too late
go.
for a Christmas card.
Yep. All right. So that wraps up the recap of the Giants game. Let's get to the big story that happened. I think it was announced Tuesday or Monday. I can't remember now. But that is that the team has made the air quote decision to shut down Jaden Daniels, and he won't be playing again this season. Now, they did not put him on injured reserve because they want him to be able to practice, which is interesting. He is, as I understand it, like his elbow's bothering him, so they don't want him to play, and there's no point in playing him because there's no playoffs. So this is like
Right.
a healthy scratch situation at some degree. Uh, I wonder if Mariota were to get hurt, and I don't want. Would Jaden go in then? Is that on the table? I don't know.
I think we'll know when we see the active list on,
No, that's true.
right before the game.
Right. If he's inactive, then he'd have to be the emergency third quarterback, and that's it.
No, Josh Johnson could be the emergency third quarterback. So,
If
like they could put
who would be number
Daniels
two?
active. They could activate Daniels in as the number two and leave Johnson inactive, but as the emergency third quarterback, or they could just activate Johnson. Period.
Right. But what if they activated Johnson and put Daniels on the inactive?
Yeah,
Then
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah,
I look. Here's the thing. I think Dave, you probably disagree with me based on your column. I think this is a height of stupidity. You can't don't play, don't coach scared. I think the last thing Jane Daniels needs is to sit if he's healthy.
Mhm.
If he's healthy, the guy needs reps. He needs to get back to his, form of last year. He hadn't played well this year. He could use the experience. I think it is a stupid and foolish decision. I think they should play him as long as his elbow's healthy. It's his elbow, right? As long as
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah. His elbow.
That's my
Uh,
view. I seem to be in the minority, though.
yeah. I mean, judging by like we did a poll and everything, right, on online. I'm shocked how many people are okay with this. I'm with you. I think I still want to see him play. I don't want him to have this season where it was all injuries, he played poorly, and that was that. I need some redemption here. Even if he just went out and had a game kind of like what Mariota did this week, where okay, he had 200ish yards, one touchdown. I'm okay with that. At least you showed that you went back out there and played, like you
Right.
didn't quit. And I don't think it's him, by the way. I do not think Jane Daniels is like wants to be on the bench here. I think he wants to be out there.
Yeah.
I think this is coming from the front office somewhere, maybe the coaching staff. Uh, but I don't think it's coming from Daniels.
It makes me wonder if they
Yeah.
listened to the great unwashed out there and bowed down to fan pressure about it.
Well, the I'm typically on the side of yes, if you're healthy, you should play absolutely. The only reason why I lean a little more to the other side is that he survived two very very blatant hip drop tackles in my mind. You can't change my mind otherwise. Where he didn't suffer any real serious injury this year. He had that elbow injury that he avoided any structural or ligament damage. Then the following week, re-aggravated it. This season has been a season of, between him having yes, it was a sophomore slump that he had this year, regardless of those who want to blame everything else on everything else, because even when he has opportunity, he was inaccurate. He had no anticipation, which we've talked about all this already. Some people just don't want to realize it, but that's the fact of the matter. Between that, no real cohesiveness and chemistry with his skill position players. He lost his primary pass receiving threat out of the backfield and Eckler. The offensive line has been solid and pretty good, especially in pass protection all year long. I just think it's one of those years where it's like if there was ever anything that was going to happen, it was going to happen. That was the kind of year it was. So you know what? Because of all of that, I have no problem where you kind of sit them down, allow them to self-evaluate, sit down with Cliff Kingsbury, see what's going on, practice the rest of the year, get healthy, regroup from next year, and come in guns a blazing next year. I don't have a problem with that. I'm typically, if you're healthy, you play, but this year, it's just weird. This season was just a complete 180 from last year in many aspects. I'm just like, you know
That's
what,
Mhm.
precisely why I think he should play.
man?
We have a difference of opinion.
Yeah,
You guys out
No,
there
I
can
get you.
decide for yourselves how you feel
right.
about it. But that what you're saying to me is exactly why you should play him. Have him break out of that try to break out of the doldrums in the last 3 weeks of the year.
Right.
I just
It
don't
would
think you can. I don't think you can coach and play football worried about injury.
right.
Right. I
Now,
get you.
pure speculation. Where do you guys think this came from? I think it probably came more from the front office and the coaching staff.
I think
I don't
I
know.
think I think it probably came from the front office myself
Yeah.
because Dan
Probably. I don't think
because
they're gonna
Dan
do
Quinn doesn't
something.
Dan Quinn doesn't seem like that type of coach to coach like that anyway.
At a minimum, I think the front office would have had to approve it. I don't think
Oh
the
yeah.
coach would bench the quarterback like that and not talk to the front office about it.
And not a young franchise quarterback. No.
No, right.
Like
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
if you're debating between like two journeyman backups who you have to start the
Nobody's
front
gonna
off.
care about that. But like the
Right.
star,
Right. Yeah.
number 2 overall draft pick, year 2, at a bare minimum, the front office knew about it and approved it, at least.
Right. Right. I think you look, and in the end, we're never gonna know, and they're gonna say, look, it was a mutual decision with everybody, but we'll never know who said this is what we're doing.
No, we'll never know.
Yeah. The only thing is, I still don't see Harris as the type of owner who would meddle like that. But
I don't. The owner doesn't really usually meddle in stuff like that. I mean, you're talking about the general manager,
some
the
some
Peters.
owners some owners
Yeah,
do,
but
obviously.
normally they don't. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, some
Yeah.
like Snyder and Jerry Jones and all of those,
Right.
yes.
Right.
But good owners, no.
Right. Right.
And to be
But
fair, Jerry has elected himself as the general manager, so
Right.
so that's not so that he has a loophole. Is what?
yeah, he does. He has a
Yeah.
loophole. It's a dumb loophole, but he has a loophole.
Right. Uh, yeah. Look, I just don't see. All right, good that he's going to still be practicing. I would like to see them say, listen, we're not starting him, but if something happens, he would be the first guy to go in.
I think you
Like,
just start him. If he's healthy,
I
get out
look,
there.
I'm saying at this point, like because they can't go back now and say, oh no, we changed our mind. Then they look
And
like
I
disorganized
think they're going to
chaos.
bench him. Just let Josh Johnson be the number 2. That's what I think. If you're going to bench him, bench him.
and who knows? Maybe Jaden Daniels expressed displeasure about the plans, and that's why they didn't put him on IR. And because they did say the plan was to shut him down the rest of the year, plans can always be changed, and maybe
Right.
Jaden Daniels after this week could be like, "Listen, I'm good to go. I want to finish out the year," and you slot him back in. Maybe Jaden Daniels had some influence in that. Who knows?
Yeah. I look, I hate seeing it. Honestly, I really do.
By the way,
Uh,
the poll, Dave ran the poll on our
mm,
Twitter feed, and that came out to
60.
67% to 33% agreed with benching Daniels. So 67% of you are wrong.
Right. I'm usually in the minority on a lot of political polls, and this poll counts like that. So I'm comfortable being in the minority because I'm right. So you know, other guys getting shut down. Obviously, Ertz is on IR.
Noah
Uh,
Brown,
Noah
IR.
Brown was
Yeah,
hurt again. I don't even remember him getting hurt. How did Noah Brown get hurt? Like, did
maybe
was
he
it a stiff
sneezed.
wind? Yeah,
Sneeze, maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
Sneezed wrong, yeah.
yeah.
I don't
Noah
remember it
Brown.
either. I think it happened when my feed was going wonky, to be honest. I don't remember
Yeah,
it.
I honestly don't remember him how he got hurt or when. Man, what a disappointment Noah Brown's season's been, health wise and all that. Like, they so needed that kind of guy on the field, just like
He
your
was
bigger possession receiver.
he was never a awesome number 2, plus level number 2 receiver.
No,
He
but
was
he was
never
a
that.
good, like when he was healthy that first season.
Yeah.
He was a good role player in that, like, hey, we need a first down. There's your 6'3" guy hanging out at the first down marker. Just throw it to him.
I mean, look, I
Yeah.
mean, Washington's receiver core has been a travesty of justice this
Oh
year
yeah,
because
yeah.
of injuries and stuff. We actually had somebody in our comment section mad that Chris Moore had the second most receiver snaps and thought it was a fireable offense. Chris Moore had the second most receiver snaps. I
This
had to
week,
respond. It's like, do you guys not know anything?
right?
You know how many people are hurt? You're talking about receivers, not everybody on the team, just the receiver core.
Right,
Right.
Traylon Burks wasn't even on the team before October.
right.
It's just come on.
We were at a point down all of our top four receivers, I think. Because there was one period of time where Debo was like, we don't know if he can play
Yeah, it was
right now.
McLaurin, Debo, Luke McCaffrey, Noah
And Noah
Brown were
Brown were
all
all hurt.
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were all hurt. At one point in the game, I'm like, oh, so we're literally down to Jalen Lane and nobody else.
And a bunch of scrap heap players.
Right,
Yes.
right. We got to run 3 tight ends because we have no options. Good. uh, all right. Yeah. It sucks. They obviously need to find a long term answer as far as that big man receiver though. And no Brown's not it.
No.
Yeah. So that's a shame. All right. I guess we should do the preview of this game versus the Eagles and wrap up the show after that.
First,
For
the most
those,
important thing to remember, it's on Saturday, not Sunday.
that was the first thing
Five
this is
o'clock.
a Saturday 5 p.m. game, which just sounds weird still. But yeah, they're playing
The
Saturday at 5.
NFL, I would just like to point out, dear NFL, too much of a good thing sometimes isn't good.
Right.
Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday
Right.
is too much.
Yep.
Way too much.
Yes.
And they threw a Friday game in to start the season just for funsies.
Yes.
They had to play it out of the country to avoid some weird law that none of us knew about, but they did it. Yeah, very strange. And also, I think it's a YouTube thing for
Oh,
most.
is it really? Oh, geez.
I'm
No, no,
not.
no, 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 no. It's not a YouTube thing. What am I talking about? I have the game preview open in front of me. It is, oh, I hadn't, it's Fox, I
Oh, it's
think.
Fox. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. Hey, you guys won't have to go hunt down that weird YouTube site of yours.
Well, yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's good news.
Yeah.
Uh,
Of course, I'm traveling, so I may have to watch it on, repeat somewhere anyway.
oh, gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So, Washington plays the Eagles. Eagles have been struggling a little bit of late. So it's not like they're the super dominant powerhouse that we would be normally fearing at this point. So we got that going for us.
Um, the way I see the Eagles game, their offense has, by their standards, struggled.
Right.
They are, I think, not the same for whatever reason as last year. Points wise, they're 18th, 320 points, which is ultimately what's most important, as
Hmm.
compared to Washington, which is 24th. Passing wise, team quarterback rating still pretty high, 99.6. Um, Rushing, they're mediocre at best, 4.1 yards per carry, despite having Saquon Barkley. Um, Defensively, I can move down here. Um,
Well, I can tell you they did just shut out the Raiders, so that's a good defensive day for them.
yeah, sorry, I was
Yeah.
on the wrong
That is
screen.
impressive.
Hence,
Yeah.
so defensively, they're much better. I mean, 271 points, which is sixth in the NFL. Um, Passing wise, their opponent's completion percentage is lowest in the NFL, number one, 56%. Much less against the rush, 4.5 yards per carry, which is almost as bad as Washington. So, given all that, what I see in this game, number one is the obvious. Washington can't play a bunch of mistakes, fumbles, penalties, drop balls. They need to play mistake-free football. You can't give chances like you gave to the Giants. Number
Right.
two, control the clock, running game. They're not going to get anywhere with the passing game here, especially with Daniels not there. So they need to run the ball and then keep running it and run it some more. And then defensively, Saquon Barkley has been weirdly average this year, like I told
Yeah.
you guys. So I think, and I don't think they're just not going to blitz. They're not going to have a successful pass rush. They just don't. They can't do it. I'm over it. But I think they really need to feature a tight, layered zone pass defense. I don't think you can give out everything underneath. I don't think you can play a bunch of man defense and cover AJ Brown. I think you need to figure out how to have a layered, tight zone defense because they're just not going to blitz. They're not going to pressure the quarterback. They're not. So that's my thoughts on this game. And I'll shut up.
I'm with you. Look, the Eagles' run game has not been nearly as dominant as it was last year. Obviously, I think they're bottom half of the league for sure in overall rushing yards. Um, like you said, Barkley just hasn't been himself at all
You
this
want
season.
overall rushing yards that you're
Yeah,
asking?
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
19th in overall rushing yards.
yeah. So bottom half.
Yes.
Yeah. So like for a team that I think that was kind of their identity last year going into the playoffs, uh, it is interesting how they've struggled there all of a sudden. Um, that said, I look, they're still a better team. The top to bottom of
Oh,
that
they're a way
roster,
better team. You kidding me?
yeah, yeah.
Right.
There's not a single position group where Washington has a stronger roster,
No.
or there might be some good matchups. Like Washington's O line's been solid. I think the line will hold up decently well against Philly's pass rush. Maybe not great. They'll lose a couple, but that's where Washington really set to improve last year. So it's going to be interesting to see because that is kind of what Adam Peters went into the offseason to do. He said, I want to build a line that can stand up to Philly's defense, right? Like that was kind of a public thing.
It was a cute
Right.
thought.
It was I mean, it's a sound way to build your team. I'm not going to disagree with it.
The concept was
Yes.
execution was
It'll
perhaps
be
not done
interesting.
well,
Well,
but
now
yeah,
we will see what that execution looks like because this is who you built it for.
Right. I
I'm not
think
gonna hold my breath.
well, the one of the biggest problems that's always talked about here in Philly about this offense is very predictable. This offense does not. It's a huge drop off to what Kellen Moore did. A lot of motions, misdirections. He would set up plays and play designs that would mimic a play later, and you would execute, and they would execute, and Barkley would run a 40-yard run, or you'd run a misdirection jet sweep type of run out of it, and Hurts runs out to the side, and dumps off and runs the ball or whatever. But their offense has not been anywhere near that this year. Plus, defenses have pretty much took what Kansas City did in the Super Bowl, take out Saquon Barkley and force Hurts to beat you with his arm. The one thing that Hurts still struggles with is reading, is getting past his first read, identifying what the defense is doing, and pushing the ball downfield. He doesn't have the strongest arm, and when you can lock him into 1/3 of the field, it's very very rare he comes back across with his vision to see anything on the other third. So that's another tendency he has, which is why he threw 5 interceptions. What I think a week ago. But it's a very predictable offense. Hurts is nowhere near the quarterback he was in the Super Bowl and most of last year. And this offense has struggled for multiple reasons. It's just who they are this year right now. Um, that's the frustrating part about this season is if it wasn't for the fact of the injuries, Jaden Daniels slumping the way he was, and this team just underperforming everything that they were doing schematically with execution. This was a year to take the division. This was the year to make a run. Seattle and the Rams kind of prevent any kind of run to a Super Bowl 'cause I think they're just that good. But for division wise, I mean, this division was wide open for them this year, especially with the play of the Eagles. But unfortunately, I mean, but yeah, the Eagles are still a better team. Obviously, we know that.
I think the what you're saying about the Eagles' offense shows in the stats.
Yeah,
Mediocre all around, more or less. But
Yeah,
their defense is legit, especially their pass defense, which is why I'm saying control the clock, lean on the run game. It's the only you're not going to get anywhere with passing defense.
right.
And there's going to be a ton of blitzing and everything.
yeah,
So they really need to focus on the run game.
for sure, for sure. All right, let's give some scores here and predictions.
I'll
Yeah.
Let's
start with
do.
this one this time.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
will go a 34-13 blowout win for the Eagles.
I said here 27-17 Eagles.
I'm kind of close to Dave on offense. I think the Eagles will probably put up 35 or so, and I think Washington. I'm going to be a little optimistic. 21. Little optimism there.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot
All
of
right.
points, man.
Wow.
For Washington, yeah. And here's another prediction, just for funsies. I think Frankie Louvu will totally jump over the first attempted tush push. He'll repeat history a little bit.
I think people don't like the tush push mainly because they're jealous of it. That's what I think. Now, what is legitimate is the Eagles' offensive linemen
Jumping
Jumping
are
early.
off sides
jumping
almost every
off
time.
sides all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Yes.
that needs to be called. But I think other than that, I think the fans just don't like that their team can't do it.
So what I don't understand, like we can see it. How come the refs not see
Yeah,
that
I
we're
don't
jumping?
get that. Yeah, they need
Yeah.
to call it. Yeah,
Oh, well, we're not lined up right. All right, line up right. If
right.
you know this is what they're calling,
Don't
somebody
move.
put.
You're moving early.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Just flat. If you flagged it once a game, all of a sudden it would stop being a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, that should wrap it up this week for the show. We will see you all next week. Well, it's the holidays. I don't know what we're doing yet. We got to figure that out.
Yes, we do.
We're not going to do it live on the air. We'll
No,
figure it
we
out.
won't. We got to figure it
Yeah.
out, though. All
Yeah.
right.
All
See
right.
y'all next week.
Later.
Um, we're not.